I just find myself being, and it's not even a conscious choice. It's like the more I talk to people that I'm very close to in my life and do some digging and pay attention, I find there's some really spiritual shit in their background. And I'm like, that explains it.
We all do. I think it's inherent. I think that whenever we're born,
it's the reason we're brought together.
When we're born, we're naturally supposed to be spiritual and in touch with consciousness. That's our most natural self. The second that we get here and we're influenced by everything that's around us,
all the distractions,
that's what's changing us. We're changing every single millisecond of our lives. We are rapidly changing.
Even your biology.
Yes,
the cells,
exactly.
Trillions of cells
Aging,
are dying and being reborn. Yeah,
it's wild. And that's another thing is like time is different. Like with our bodies and with consciousness. You know what I mean?
Oh,
time,
yeah.
Like
time really only applies here in the physical realm.
In the right now. Like, well, I'm saying a different tangent here, but what I was trying to say is like, according to like quantum physics or whatever, the only thing that is truly real, so to speak, is what is being observed in the exact present moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the crazy thing. If you think about it, anything you've ever experienced that was real was only ever in the present.
Oh, yeah.
And whatever you've experienced in the past and the future can be changed.
Mm-hmm. Like in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that has an effect on reality. They've proven that, you know?
Of course.
So it's like, it's just crazy when you think about it. Like we're always rapidly in the now, which is always now, you know, from your perspective, we're always changing.
Yeah, no, I think you said something really cool. Like when we come here to this realm, we're like unbridled. There are no filters. There are no distractions. Mm-hmm. There's none of that stuff. We're just a little antenna for all this spiritual energy and all this, you know, all this stuff. And then we get all these distractions, all this fear. Fear, I feel like, plays such a huge role in suppressing that.
You want to know what, though?
What?
That makes 2001: A Space Odyssey so, I mean, I love that movie.
Fill out your bingo cards, people.
I haven't seen it in so long. But there was, whenever I first watched that movie, which was like 2 years ago, I watched it, like, I probably watched it 10, 12 times after that.
We watched it together, right?
For the first time. Yeah. Every single day while I worked from home, I would play that movie because every single time that you look up and it's beautiful. It'll be beautiful no matter what. And the soundtrack is so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Music, the score.
And I have a thing for like old sound design too, like from the 60s and 70s. It all sounds so textural.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So, but the fact that you're seeing that baby that at the very end, spoiler alert, it's the most raw form of like consciousness is inside of that little bubble.
Yeah.
It's a light being and there's it's encased.
Exactly
within
like
energy.
How my dad
it's wild. And then your dad also calls them the children again.
Yeah,
it's that innocence. I don't know. It's all coming. It's all coming together.
Well, I feel like that's why, you know, for a long time you always hear like, oh, meditation is like the most spiritual thing you can do. It will put you in, you know, into contact with the collective consciousness. It'll center all this stuff. For a long time I was like, how? Why?
Yeah.
Why would that help me? Whatever. But like that is literally practicing breaking down all those filters that you're talking about.
Yeah.
From when we're born, all that stuff is getting jammed into our heads to distract us from the real thing. And meditation is
silences that.
It's trying to get back to the original feeling of like just being in touch.
And
with
I've started doing yoga this year. And I will say that like...
Wait, whoa. I thought you were a yoga expert. I seem to remember you judged
being an instructor.
Yeah, you were an instructor and you led a competition between
hold on now.
two idiots that were screaming at each other.
We got to do this now in front of everybody.
Was it a past life?
No. Yeah, exactly. Man, I like the way he thinks.
I derailed you, but now...
No, you're fine. But I started taking yoga and I've been trying to like taking those moments to meditate are so important because I went to yoga the first few times this year and it was perfect. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Last couple of times I've been going, I've been a little bit stressed. And I think it's because I've been more anxious in the past few weeks. And then also during one of the yoga classes, I couldn't join the open meditation because I had a call. I was on the phone with somebody.
Gotcha.
And so I missed the whole opening meditation, which is like about 10 minutes.
Yeah. The start and beginning of each class, at least where we go, is like you're just laying there meditating, and then they kind of ease you into the stretches. So imagine there's a whole room of like 40 people, 30 people, like just laying there peacefully. And then when, Jenny missed all that and she walks in right to the brutal stretches.
Yeah.
And it's not about
it jars the experience.
In my experience, that's how most yoga places are. It's meditate,
right.
Yoga, meditate.
But just conceptually imagine that.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's
walking
not,
in.
But it's not even about the strength. No, I didn't get to stretch, or I didn't get to. No, well, it's not even about that. For me, it was more like my mind wasn't with it, and I'm like, I was like kind of grumpy in my mind. Like, no, like I don't want to sit and do this lunge. I just don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do it. Whenever you meditate before, or like in my experience, whenever I do it normally and I don't miss opening meditation, it's so like you fall in love with your body once you get that chance to like.
I'm like not falling in love with my body. I'm like, damn, I wish I was stronger. That's just brutal.
You feel positive about your body.
Yeah,
and you're
I feel positive. I do feel positive.
So for me, it was just like, man, like I really love my body whenever I'm stressed. But then whenever I don't do it, I'm just in a completely different mental space.
I love it. One thing I will say, I've done 3. I just started. So Jenny went to some sessions before me to scope out the place. I've had engagements I couldn't always go. We try to go once a week now. And I started going with her, and I've been to yoga with her in the past and like was a student of martial arts for many years. And my first experience with yoga was like, I didn't care about it because at the time I didn't know anything about it. I didn't really understand the spiritual benefits of it. And I had just been on a short break from martial arts. So I was like, I'd rather just go back to Kung Fu. Like, I don't want to do this shit. Like, I'd rather go train.
Yeah.
So I had a different attitude back then, but I remember yoga was hard as hell because we used to do power yoga. It was like hot power yoga where it was like literally isometric, like strength building yoga.
It's just move into move.
It was brutal. It was brutal. So I'm like scared to come back to this with her. And I will say that although it is rigorous, I'm never finding myself bored. Even in martial arts, which I was obsessed with, I had a difficult time. Like the good news is like, it's not like you had to focus on the drills. It was just a lot of repetitive, like, placements of hands and, things like that. It was so repetitive. You don't have to think, but I found myself so bored. Like as much as I love the art, I was like, when's this going to end? When's this going to end? I'm ready to get out here. Yoga, I'm not like that.
But you want to know what,
I'm
Ryan?
here right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost curious to know, and I don't know if this would change the state. I don't know if this would actually be applicable, but think about meditating before you go to Kung Fu. Like, what if you were to meditate before you went into Kung Fu class?
See, I would do that now.
And you meditated in that same way to where you're like, I'm going to do this. You're telling yourself these affirmations. And then you go into Kung Fu class. I bet you'd freaking kill it. Yeah. See, probably. The reason that yoga is so awesome is because you're meditating and every single move is intentional.
Yeah.
Every breath is intentional.
And she's constantly guiding you back to notice your...
Yes.
It's
telling
really
you
wonderful.
To smile, telling you to, telling you to pop your hip out, telling
She'll say
you
smile, and make us like laugh while we're doing it, and it does help. It makes it
so it's just like I think the intention behind it's the mind wonderful. Is so powerful.
It is.
The mind is so powerful because we're sitting here talking about it has so much power. Mm-hmm. We can literally dream things, and we can literally set intentions.
It's all the mind. Everything. Everything is the mind. Like if you want to get real spiritual with it, like real mystical. Literally everything is one big mind, and this thing is just here, like you said, as it's like a dream, as it's like a distraction.
I think there's a hermetic law about that. Actually,
it is.
Oh, really?
It's the first one.
Everything
what is it?
Everything is mental.
Oh, right.
Everything exists within the mind of the all.
And then there's that like original transcription of the first
Emerald Tablet.
No. The first book of the Bible. Where, it's like in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Well, the original was logos in Greek.
In the book of John.
Which is mind.
Yeah.
Oh, in the book of John. Right. Which is mind.
Right.
In the beginning was the mind, and the mind was with God, and the mind was God.
Yeah.
It's the most powerful thing
Greek mystics
out there.
actually wrote that. Like, I'm not talking like what the Bible claims. I'm talking like real history.
Yeah.
Like Neoplatonist, Gnostic type Christian people.
Yeah.
But
so with yoga, I have a question. I'm curious. Do you feel like, because every class I've ever gone to, it is like meditate, then you do the actual yoga, and then you meditate again. Mm-hmm. So it seems like they're very closely like intertwined. They're intertwined, the two of them. But I'm kind of curious. Like, do you think that even if you weren't to meditate before or after, the act of just putting your body into those specific forms and shapes with the intention going into it, like, do you think that still has a palpable spiritual effect?
Yes.
Yeah, it 100%
Yes.
does, because it's like they're just mudras. There's just a bunch
Right.
of mudras.
Yeah.
Mudra doesn't necessarily just mean specifically to hands. It just means gesture. But the reason I believe it's so good for you is because trauma, as you know, especially with your dad and my mom, being told this about fibromyalgia, trauma is stored subconsciously in the body. Mm-hmm. And yoga is like this ancient system that these sages figured out how to put your body in these intricate stretches to release that trauma. Mm-hmm. It's the way I feel after a good hot yoga session is like it's like a massage, but it's not on the outside, it's on the inside.
Yeah, like, Jenny's favorite show, Naruto. It's like,
that show.
With the hand signs and stuff, they do that to channel their chakra in specific ways, and like it's mudras. It is. It's literally,
it's like a play on mudras.
It's a depiction of mudras, and yeah, to be honest, I never really thought about yoga as being like the body doing mudras.
But so
everything is mudra.
The reason
That's
that meditation is so important again is because we're humans, and because without mental strength, it's really hard to do much of anything. Mm-hmm. And your body has given you limitations, so it makes it hard to do certain mudras.
Yeah.
And so then you kind of have to have the mental strength to hold it and to breathe properly and to, so I think that it's just much harder if you don't meditate, especially because you're meditating to get your mind right.
Right, sure.
And to silence your mind. Your body, will do it whether you meditate or not. But it's getting that certain effect and putting that intention toward what you're doing.
Awareness.
It probably also has like an energetic effect.
Yes.
Because, like when you meditate, you go into that like flow state and you become more high vibrational, more energetically sensitive. So it's almost like supercharging yourself before you do the mudras, so that the mudras are... Is this a pose, by the way? Is this a yoga pose?
I'm not quite sure.